Now, speculation maps have dropped for both Orlando and both Hollywood. Now, there's some interesting things to go over, so let's dive into it. Now, first off, we're going to talk about Orlando.
The best.
This map is basically broken into our 5 IPs and our 5 originals. So let's talk about the IPs. And before we get to anything, as I always have to say, these speculation maps are just speculation. It's a lot of hearsay, it's a lot of fan theories. Anything said in this is not official until it is announced by Universal. Now let's tackle the IPs. With the Cadillac symbol, there's only so many things when you think of a Cadillac. Not sure, it could be a classic retelling of Ghostbusters that we've done before. Maybe they want to add new features into it. A frozen New York landscape could make for a really standout house, but then again, most people, they're kind of akin to the previous Ghostbusters and they like that old school feel of it. We'll have to see. And either way, I want some Ecto Cooler. So Universal, if you're listening, Ecto Cooler, please, in the freestyle machines. Yeah, please. And right beneath it, Soundstage 22. Now, I've heard so many rumblings about this. I've seen people talk about maybe this is like, I don't know, like a tribal, maybe this is like a jungle primates. Trust me, I've heard all types of theories and rumors. To me, it just speaks a vampire. And there are a couple movie properties they could be using when it comes to vampires. They've already used Universal monsters before. It could be like a classic, just Dracula house.
We're both lost at a day.
Or as well, it could be Abigail, which is a movie about Dracula's daughter having these people locked inside a sort of big mansion. So stuff that's in that trailer that could make for a great Halloween Horror Nights house. I definitely could see them maybe piggybacking off of how Megan was popular at the event. Maybe Abigail will kind of have that popularity also. But there's also another vampire property that this could be that has been rumored for quite some time now.
And you'll never die. Be one of us.
With that, I'm just gonna put a stipulation up there because Lost Boys is sort of 80s. Now, unless this feeds into where we're about to head into our next house, it could make the overall theme of this be 80s. Ghostbusters, maybe you have Lost Boys, and maybe you have our next house that we're talking about. Over in the brand new Sprung 4 tent, we could be talking about I never heard any rumblings about this earlier on. This rumor kind of came out of nowhere. I heard other stuff. So unless something got switched around, Freddie hasn't been at the event since HHN 25 and he makes for a damn good house. So I'm excited if it is Freddie, but I also looked at the moon and the stars and I also thought maybe this could be a nod to the Wolfman, which is an upcoming Blumhouse movie, a remake. It could be that. It could also just be the classic Wolfman. Maybe they're doing a multi-monster house tier type of thing with Dracula and the Wolfman and maybe a few others. Could mean a lot of things. I've heard rumblings of Quiet Place. Heard a lot of people not liking that idea. Could be Silent Hill, which does have a movie coming out. It's an anniversary for the game. They just had Last of Us. Would kind of make sense there. But there's also another theory I came up with, but that would not fit with the 80s theme, and that would be Silence of the Lambs. Maybe this is their opportunity to take it, and they don't mind mixing 80s and 90s because, I mean, Silence of the Lambs is there, you gotta take it, right? And coming up in the Fast and Furious building, we have an unknown IP. Now, they could be playing around with us with this, or it could really be that they just don't know. Most of the time, we usually have a Blumhouse mixture house thrown in there, and well, Blumhouse definitely could be coming to the event. What could be in the Blumhouse? And then we're going to fast forward to the originals. Now, these are a little bit more harder, a little trickier, because the IP gives you some sort of idea of something you could base it around. Dreamport Productions schooled me on what this symbol was, and I don't know why, it just escaped my mind thinking about the tribute store last year. I like the tribute store. I'm a big fan of more the monsters, creatures, effects of the tribute store. Last year, I liked the aesthetics, I liked the theming of it. I didn't read a single thing of the tribute store just because it was too much to go through. Or this could be maybe a nod to something that was in that tribute store, which was Boris, legendary truth detective that everyone knows and loves, who has a real big history at Halloween Horror Nights. And all the way down from there in Soundstage 23A, we are traveling to South America, Brazil. Monsters?
La muerte camina siguiendo tus pasos. El Silbón is near.
Again, Dreamport Productions put out this idea, and it kind of made sense for me. Maybe we're going to get Monstros from Hollywood over in Orlando, and we're gonna have a mixture of South American mythical creatures that fade the land of South America. I could definitely see this coming to the event. It's kind of just an easy pull. Maybe they add in one or two other creatures or something that, you know, they didn't have over in Hollywood. It's only fitting since Hollywood has borrowed from Orlando before, so maybe it's kind of in return that we're borrowing something they had. And traveling over by that mean old Shrek, we have Sprung Tent 1 being a Minotaur. Could be a nod to Dark Zodiac that we had as a scare zone last year. Yeah, I'm not putting too much faith into that. Could be a nod to a previous house we had a long time ago called Hades Gates of Ruin, which I was around. I went through that house. I love that house. I've always wanted that house to return, so could be that, or it could just be a totally new original based upon Greek mythology. All the way up in Soundstage 24B, we have a lollipop, and the only thing that comes to mind is Sweet Revenge, which we had as a scare zone 2 years ago, I think, at this point, over in New York. We had an icon character, Major Sweets and Mrs. Sweets. We had the trick-or-treaters running around. You can tell this idea was bigger than a scare zone. It was definitely fitting for a house. And really, there's not much more to say. Death Eaters are coming back. I'm excited for that. Really, if you didn't go last year to go see Death Eaters, definitely go spend some time if you can in there. It's really, really awesome to see. Then we have Nightmare Fuel is coming back once again. There is a new show to be coming. Now, this I don't know. It's a castle. It's in animal actors. None of this kind of adds up to make sense. Why would we have a show in animal actors? Seems like a nightmare of a headache to have in that area. Maybe this is a ploy. Maybe we're going to get a Lagoon show and they're just teasing something about another show. Maybe we'll get something in horror makeup finally, or Born. Back to that being a castle. What could a castle mean? Harold and Kumar? Beetlejuice Graveyard Review? Maybe Rocky Horror Picture Show? Maybe? And by the way, if you do love Halloween Horror Nights, me and Dreamport did a live stream where we talked all about the speculation maps, all about Halloween Horror Nights, our favorite years. A lot of good questions were thrown around. We talked for almost over 2.5 hours about Halloween Horror Nights. So check out that live stream. Links will be down in the description box as well as at the end of the video. So when it comes to Hollywood speculation map and Orlando's map, there are a lot of overlays, a lot of things that are just the same. So we're not going to talk too much about those. But there are some key differences here, at least 3 haunted houses or mazes, as you want to call them, that are different. And the first one we're going to talk about is the Parisian Courtyard. Hopefully I said that correctly. I'm bad at pronouncing things. It is just a flower. Now, a flower can mean lots of things. Little pet shop of horror. It could mean maybe a continuation of Last of Us. Or I also thought Frankenstein befriends a little girl. And in that scene, there's something about a flower that's given to Frankenstein by the little girl. I thought it could be something relating to that. Maybe we have a Frankenstein house back again over in Hollywood. Could be. And up next, we have over in the H-Lot tent house, we have a bloody knife. Now, this could be almost anything. It could be a nod to Chucky coming back again. It could be a nod to Michael Myers, maybe, because he has the knife. It could be a nod to Terrifier, maybe being a Hollywood exclusive. Now, traveling all the way up to the T-Pad location, we have a centipede. Ugh. Could mean a lot of different things, but the first thing that came to mind was Terror Trim of last year being the Exterminators with, we had, what was it, Larry the Larva? I think that's his name, Larry the Larva? Yeah, Larry Larva character coming back again. Maybe this is a house extended upon that idea. Could be a nasty house with bugs and stuff. Could be a 3D house. We know Hollywood loves 3D houses. Could be that maybe Hollywood is borrowing from Orlando with their bug house that we've had a couple years back. Could be that as well. Also to note, it does state that Blumhouse Experience is coming back again over in Hollywood. So that seems to be kind of a normal thing that they're gonna keep up with. And as well, what I talked about in Orlando is the Castle Show, or whatever the Castle Show is there over in Hollywood too. So that is quite interesting. Now, maybe that is coming back. Maybe it's a continuation or some new Purge story. And that's gonna be over in Orlando and over in Hollywood, or maybe they're just going to try out something new. That is it. Thank you all. I have talked about the speculation maps to the fullest that I can talk. Thank you all. Peace out.